Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I'm going to be making a video to further the conversation from my last video, which was a video response about that brutal home invasion attack that took place in New Jersey. That woman that was just viciously beaten. From that video, I've gotten some questions, I think, from some folks that maybe haven't considered a defensive plan. And I wanted to speak about that for just a minute. And I even have a specific question that was asked of me by a lady who's a YouTube, who I know is a lady, and she watches my videos often. So I wanted to address that as well. You know, as horrific as that video was of that woman getting beaten throughout that home invasion, unfortunately it happens all too often in this country. And what I think the video is something that's rare. You see, we hear about the stories of home invasions on our local news, but we don't ever get to see it occur unless we're involved in it somehow. So it's shocking to many, appalling to many. And I'm sure that many folks who have never considered home defense or home security, it probably took them by surprise and hopefully made them aware that they need to consider that with their home, with their family. I'm sure that short video spawned many conversations with family members at the kitchen table. And I think that if there's anything good that could happen from such a horrific event, then that would be good if other families who have never considered something like that happening to them now began to take the steps to make their homes a harder target and to take steps to further protect their loved ones. Well, as many of you folks know, that's watched my videos for a while, I came from a family that was very pro-gun. They are very pro-defense, very independent, self-reliant. You see, I was brought up to understand the responsibility of defense and to take on that responsibility as best I could, whether that be personal defense, home defense, or defense of my community, right? And from that, I've learned quite a deal from my family. Some have law enforcement backgrounds, some have law enforcement and military backgrounds, like my father. That has also instilled in me to seek out more training, to seek out more knowledge. And I have taken classes merely, not merely, but on the subject of home defense from professionals, experts in the field. And I have taken courses here locally. My police department in my city offers training to the citizens. Good advice, and it's always good to get the perspective of your local law enforcement. I beseech you to seek out that training, to seek out that knowledge from those professionals. there is many things that we can do. The answer is not always a gun. Matter of fact, a gun is that last resort, that last answer. I think many folks who are very pro-gun get caught up in a mindset that if a hammer is your only tool, then every problem looks like a nail. And that's just not the case. See, I would prefer no one ever attempts to breach my door or a window and do the things that make that more difficult for them, so that they won't even try. They usually will pick the easiest targets that they see. And you know what? They may be watching your home. They may be watching your neighborhood. They may be watching what time you leave, what time you get there, who's home at what time you go to sleep. Who knows? It may be a target of opportunity. And these things you may have to consider. You see, another dynamic that's impossible to define is the family itself and the circumstances of that family. See, right now, my wife and I live alone, right? Other than the giant four-legged children. But many families have infants, young children, teenagers. Many families have other family members, elderly family members. Sometimes there is a consideration of physical capacity or maybe even mental capacity that the family has to consider. It's impossible to define all the scenarios. So you have to seek out the questions individually with your family. And that's best done by asking the professionals. Now, I had a lady that asked me a question, her YouTube channel. I know she's a lady, and I know that she often watches my videos, and she asked me a question about strategically placing weapons throughout the home. Again, great consideration is going to have to be of the makeup of your family, your neighborhood, your local and state laws. All these things have to be taken into account. But I know many folks who make a decision to hide or place weapons throughout the home so that they could have them at a moment's notice. Personally, I conceal carry as often as I am able. And I have found that when I do that, I mostly leave that concealed carry firearm on my person when I return home. I am sitting on the couch on a beautiful Sunday, and I also have my concealed carry firearm with me. Having your chosen weapon on you, in my opinion, is the absolute best option, because there's nowhere you have to reach for, go for, unlock, do whatever to get to that weapon. If your preferred weapon is something like pepper spray or maybe a stun gun or whatever the case may be, then it's hard to beat having the weapon with you, on you, when you need it. But many people do strategically place things around their home. And if you're going to do that, there are many, many options out there that are available to you. And again, I don't know all of them, don't even pretend to, but I remember a class that I took one time. Guy takes this big book out and he takes a razor knife and he cuts the center out of that book. And he suggested that that could be an option for someone to put valuables or to put a weapon and have it on a bookcase or something of that nature. There are other options, and here's a couple. Get this thing right here. this is a picture frame, but it also opens up, and there is a pocket there that you could place a weapon. And this picture frame comes with the mounting hardware that you see right here. This is something that I've gotten for some of my family members. And at any rate, you can have family photos, and you can place this in a room, by a door, wherever, and it's an option. Now, I don't know if they make these that are lockable to keep curious children away, but that's not an issue with this family member. So this is one of those options. Here's something else. This is a nice clock, working clock, but it also, doing it backwards, sorry, it also opens up to have the same type of apparatus that you can place a firearm. As a matter of fact, in this one you can put a pretty good sized firearm in it. Maybe that's something that you think of. This clock can be placed anywhere throughout the home, right? And there's all sorts of gadgets that I've seen throughout the years that you can put something behind a picture or whatever, like a little safe or something. You can have those containers that look like household cleaners that have a secret compartment that you could place something, maybe some pepper spray or something. But again, you're going to need the time to actually get to this stuff, right? You're going to need time to get to this stuff. Maybe you do have something like this, you know, at your front or back door, to where when you go to that door, you have something available to you if you should need it. But it looked like that lady heard a noise and was immediately confronted. And doesn't look like she had too much opportunity to run and get something. And that's where having that defensive weapon on your person is a good idea. You know, it's no secret, I've said many times here, that we have a security alarm. And one of the things that came with the security alarm was this little fob right here. Okay, it's like a key fob, right? And it activates our alarm system. I can, or my wife can, turn it on or off, or she can hit panic, and she can hit emergency services button, and that stuff happens immediately. Okay. And this is a good thing that she keeps right with her, maybe in a pocket, a robe pocket, whatever. You could easily hang this around your neck and under your shirt or dress or whatever the situation is, and have something on you that could immediately activate that alarm. Maybe that alarm would scare an attacker, or maybe make him think twice, where you could break contact with him and or them long enough to retrieve something, long enough maybe to get your children into a safer location. I don't know. I don't have all those answers, but the more options that we have, the better chances we have to employ them to save our family. And that really is the most important thing. Open hand skills, martial skills are extremely necessary. There's all types and manners of which those skills are taught, sometimes in just a self-defense for women's class or a self-defense class. Sometimes they're by discipline, Krav Maga, whatever it's called, the Israeli fighting system, very popular in the United States today, as well as many other disciplines of martial arts. Good stuff to know. Good stuff to know. Because sometimes that attack is upon you before you even realize what's going on. So consider them. Consider them for your family members. All of them. when they are of suitable age. You have children, take them classes. You know, I got started in martial arts because I was a tall, skinny kid that was tripping over his feet. Loved to play sports, but my growth sometimes would occur in spurts, and man, I would lose my coordination. And it was martial arts that helped me keep my coordination going, keep it even with my growth. And it turned out to come in very handy a few times throughout my life. So consider that. Consider everything. Get in touch with the professionals. Get in touch with your police departments. Get that good instruction. And whether it be a firearm or a baseball bat or some sort of a stun gun or pepper spray or what have you, get the training with those. And consider having them with you or in very close proximity throughout your home. All right, folks, I think I've rambled on enough at any rate. Thank you for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate it. I try to answer questions as best I can. I obviously do not have all the answers, but at any rate, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.